Welcome to Invest. We'll talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As a current time of 10:07 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum country $2,573, up about 0.64% so far. With respect to overall crypto market, we are relatively flat to up at the moment, with one specific coin, XRP, currently up about 7.52% at the moment. Seems like the downward wedge that we've been experiencing, that have been forming as we get tighter and tighter and tighter, forming an apex, is surging, and right now it's about 7.5% because technical speaks the truth. So we'll dive into technicals to see what's going on in the subsequent time. And with respect to the overall media front, it's a relatively flat day. Typically on Saturday is not the most active day among media companies, but it'll become a little bit more active as Sunday durates, right? And I think the timing, typically on Sunday would be around like 3:30 p.m. all the way till like 6 p.m. Until Monday when the market reopens again. So next week's gonna be a volatile one, right? We are expecting the 15th and 16th, the FOMC meeting. So Wall Street is expecting to expect some sort of like a raise of interest rates, and obviously combined with the additional elements of the Omicron plus with respect to the Ukraine-Russian war, seems like it's still durating, combined with the mixture of sanctions being performed internationally, cutting off on the exports and import front, not just for oil, which we've seen, a sizable surge recently, $230 per barrel. Other goods that are being exchanged among international waters are still going to be in that part of the equation as well, right? On top of something we already seen on the CPI report that came out on Thursday, right? The past Thursday, it just came out like 2 days ago. It was a relatively negative one, right? Hitting the 40 years historical high in comparison, right? So definitely doesn't convey a lot of confidence. So it seems like across the spectrum, we're just like kind of bleeding. Right now, just take a breather. But something that I know that I've been doing some research on is like the war is happening right now, right? But how long does the war typically durate for, right? And in an average perspective, if you count the dates that the war initialized, we have accumulated to be about like 22 days so far, right? And on average, if you count all of the market correction stem from obviously a war or a battle, something along the line, historically speaking, right? I think with respect to next week, we should technically see the bottom. And next week is actually meeting the exact time for the 22 days on average when it hits the bottom and then subsequently revive. So next week seeing the bottom with respect to the FOMC meeting would not be surprising to us. And then it will take approximately like about 54 days, so about like a month and a half for us to revive back to normal cadence. So the technicals does kind of convey that type of foreshadow based on the timing, right? 22 days that we have kind of mostly depleted now. So next week is going to be like 22, 23 days in average. And then subsequently next takes like about a month and a half for us to revitalize back to normal. So without wasting more time, let's dive into technicals to see what's going on. Ultimately, those are speculations based on historical performance, right? History, it gives you a good predictive metrics to gauge, but it doesn't convey future, right? Because like no one can predict the future. So respective recording time of 10:11 a.m. on the Eastern time, and first just want to say happy Saturday to everybody. We are at the relatively still bearish pattern. We're below the 2625. Obviously, we have still the head and shoulder pattern, the head, shoulder, shoulder. And the next propensity that we need to get down to will be somewhere around like the 25, right? Obviously, it's the next level to bounce off from the previous level that we bounced off from. But if we see more negativity next week, right? 2362 should technically be the bottom. We might even reach to like retest what we did earlier on the 24th of last month. But I think 2362 is the logical level to buy in. Bitcoin is It's forming a kind of a wedge and slash. This is kind of like a weird head and shoulder pattern. It's not as prominent in comparisons to Ethereum. At the same time, do we see like more depletion? I think 37,500 all the way to 34,500 would be very logical. I don't foresee us to be crashing all the way to 34. I think anywhere from like 36 to 35 is still logical based on the frame that we're at right now. I think we just need to wait until some normalization, come back to the 37,500, deplete the RSI a little bit, and then allows the MACD to slowly cross back up to form a golden cross again, and then we'll research to go back up to the 40s. Dogecoin up about 0.27%, 11 cents right now, anywhere from basically current level all the way to bottom at 1066. Cardano's flat as well, 79 right now, anywhere from current level to 75 is still logical at the 37 out of 70. Solana is flat as well, not really doing much, anywhere from basically 80 all the way to 75 is still logical. It is not really forming a wedge. This is just a descending pattern. It's just like we're forming like lower, higher lows, right? Every single time we go up, we come back down. Every single go up, we go down. So this is still in the bearish state, but is relatively depleted. I don't really see us going to 66, to be honest with you. We are at the 40 out of 70, but anywhere from 80 to 75 is still logical. And good thing is that I see that with respect to the MACD, it's below the signal line. So as we deplete, probably next week or so, we are gonna see a reversal, hopefully, right? And what a reversal means is basically we gonna start forming higher highs, right? So it will not be like a descending escalator. It will be an ascending escalator. So you'll be like form up, down, dip a little bit, and then consolidate, form up, dip a little bit, consolidate, form up, consolidate, dip a little bit. So that's the play that I foresee happening. I think we are pretty much near the bottom, to be honest with you, on a technical front. XRP is surging because this is a wedge. This is just what technical is speaking the truth, right? You can see that we've been forming a wedge, so it's surging, but we test basically the 78 cents, right? But now we're crossing back down because it's a weak level. What do we need to get up to next, right? We need to get up to 88 cents. Do you think we have a shot at getting there? I think so, maybe, because of the fact that we're the 40 right now. However, you could see that the MACD is above the signal line, so that means that's not really a good sign. Oftentimes you need the MACD line to be below the signal line to cross up. Right now we're on the opposite side of the spectrum. That means a def cross about to be formed. So that means we're gonna come back down basically. So I don't foresee us to be, at least in next week, we don't see 88 cents coming. That's not not even in the frame of logics in the moment. Polkadot is about 1.25%, the 50 out of 70 right now, so surging on the higher side of the spectrum. I wouldn't touch this until like 16.35 all the way to 14 from here. ALGORAND's up about 0.31%, 35 anywhere from current level all the way to the bottom, 69 basically. So we're basically like 1 cent away. Shiba Inu, Finnish try to get to me right now. Did you? I don't know if you guys heard that. Low 2000, so 2100 all the way to 1400 to 5 to 800 from here. MACTAC is up about 0.62%, anyone from 143 to 120. We're relatively depleted at 41 out of 70. Shh, big fin. Shh. AVAX is up about 0.54%. This is a downward wedge. No, not downward wedge. Sorry, head and shoulder. Head, shoulder, shoulder. So 59 to 50, that would be a logical level next. Luna, Luna's about to crash down really dramatically. You could see that we're about to form a def cross with a 58 out of 70. So again, this is gonna fall down really, really sharply. And I think the next logical level will be 62, 52, and 45 from here. Alright, so hopefully you guys have a great Saturday. It's rainy as hell in New York City today, so I'll probably just stay home. I have a couple meetings with my teammates at Tings Capital as we're rehearsing for a pitch coming. So we'll be working anyways, despite it's Saturday. We never stop working anyway, so... but appreciate you for joining, and have a good day, and let me know if you have questions. Take care. Bye.